Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very nice, Prabhu.
Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I went
Krishna,
live,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, on YouTube. I will
Yes,
make
yes.
you host.
So I have to do anything for, for
Make
the
me co-host, Prabhuji.
that thing, right.
Yes.
Okay. So before this, I have to. Hare Krishna. So I have to make you co-host. Yes. It's confirmed, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm co-host. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Why this has gone? Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna once again. A big Hare Krishna from everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So welcome to Bhagavad Gita for adults and youth, 9 p.m. English conducted by ISKCON Mangaluru, Sri Radha Govinda Temple. Humble obeisance to Radha Govinda. And understanding Gita in 18 days. So we are on 13th chapter today. Again, humble obeisance to beautiful deity, Radha and Govinda. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशचारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद सद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। All glories to founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai, and our temple president, His Grace Namanishta Das Prabhuji ki jai. And I'm here with grace and mercy of Namanishta Das Prabhuji, who has given this opportunity to have this class with all of you. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga chapter 13. And it is also called nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness. So, these are the three things that we'll learn. I just would humbly request everyone. This is the fundamental of Jnana Yoga because it starts the first chapter of Jnana Yoga. So, you can have a little, notepad somewhere, take the points, note, and also maybe it requires a little more attention because the you know fundamental concepts are there. Hare Krishna. So nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So what do you understand by, let's say, enjoyer? We had discussed this before also. Anyone quickly? So who is the enjoyer? Who is the enjoyer? Hare Krishna. I'm not getting any response. Hare Krishna. Who is the enjoyer, you think? Vibhuti Bhushan Prabhuji. Who is the enjoyer? Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Is it us?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Tell me.
Krishna is the enjoyer. Krishna
Okay.
is the enjoyer.
So Krishna is the enjoyer. So does it mean that we are not, we're not enjoying at all? Hare Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So are we enjoying or not enjoying?
We are also enjoying, Prabhuji. We are the part and parcel of Krishna.
So we are also enjoying, but that enjoying is a wrong perception of enjoyment. That's how we identify with the prakriti, which is given here, nature, and thereby we think that we are enjoying. Whereas the see, there are only concept of Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is the enjoyer and Prakriti is the enjoyed. So the only Purusha is Krishna. That is about enjoyer and consciousness. Consciousness is the indication that the soul is present. This is called consciousness. So now, what are the how the chapter 13 goes is Arjuna will ask 6 questions. This time also, I think some other chapter he asked some 2 questions, somewhere 4 questions. So here 6 questions at the beginning itself, and then Krishna describes Kshetragya, Jnanam, then the process of acquiring knowledge, then what of knowledge, then Prakriti Purusha and their union, that is material nature and the enjoyer and their union, and finally the Jnana Chakshu. We have been talking about Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge which is given. No, that we are talking about not divine eye, but now we are talking about the Jnana Chakshu. So what are the qualities by which we can acquire the Jnana Chakshu? That is the last part of this chapter. That would be very, very interesting. So stay tuned. Hare Krishna. So these are the questions. So just look at the left side, not on the right side. Answer in any case we'll deal with. But most important is these are the questions Arjuna asked. So what is Prakriti? What is Purusha? What is Kshetra? What is Kshetragya? What is Jnanam or knowledge? And what is Gyam or goal of knowledge? So Prakriti, material nature, we know. Purusha is the enjoyer. Kshetra is the body. Kshetragya is the who knows the about the kshetra, that is body. And what is jnana? We will discuss all that in details, but these are the questions. So 5, 6 questions. So what Krishna is answering, we'll look at. So I think the verse starts. Verse is Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, Purusha, that is number 2, and the field of the knower of the field, that is number 3 question, and knowledge, number 4, and the end of knowledge." And the answer he is giving, the blessed and the blessed Lord said, "He, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field." This is the answer Krishna is given about Kshetra and Kshetragya, or Kshetra is the field, and field is the body, and then who knows the body is the knower of the field. Up to this, he has given answer. Further, he will elaborate what it is. But before going into that, what are the two bodies that we have? Hare Krishna. Quickly, in 2 3 seconds. There are two bodies we have primarily, apart from soul. Right.
Physical body and the
One is
subtle
gross
body.
body, another is
Gross
subtle
body
body.
and the subtle body.
Physical body and the subtle body. Yeah. Physical body and the subtle body. So gross body is made up of how many elements? 5 elements. And what are those? Quickly, Mataji.
Air, water, ether.
Earth, air, fire,
Ether.
ether. So earth, water, fire, air, and the ether. So this is the gross body. And subtle body?
Mind, intelligence.
Yes, and false ego. So gross body and the subtle body, we know the 8 elements. Now Krishna is referring to that body. That particular body that we're referring to is called Kshetra, or the field of activities. And then who knows that field, or who knows that body, 5 elements plus 3, whoever knows that, he is the Kshetragya, or the knower of the field. So there are primarily two knowers of the field. Who are they? Let us see. Like, for example, the soul knows about the body. My soul knows about my body. So he is the Kshetragya of my body. But there is also another who also knows about my body, as well as all the bodies. So who is he? Let's look at. So difference between soul and super soul. So along with soul, there is super soul that we have already discussed in other chapters also. Sarvasacha Hamri Sannivishto, that was there in previous chapter. Sarvasachaham Murudi Sannivishto Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So he sits, so Paramatma sits in every living being's heart as super soul. So he is the knower of all the bodies, and soul is the knower of his body. So if we look at the attributes, super soul is the super knower, we can say, and soul is the knower of our own body. And if you look at the control, ownership, and control, then we can say super soul is the supreme controller because it knows about all the bodies, and soul is a secondary controller because it has a control on its body only. And position wise, super soul is always infallible, achyuta, always superior to soul. And of course, soul is fallible. Why it is fallible? Why it is fallible? Hare Krishna. Soul as a without contamination, without being conditioned, it is not supposed to be fallible, but it becomes fallible. Why? Hare Krishna. Why it becomes fallible? Because it gets attached to the material nature and identifies with the material nature. And after that, material nature is composed of, comprises of three gunas. The moment soul also gets identified with the material nature, it also gets identified with the three gunas. So we saw the three gunas like a puppet. All the living entities, when they identify, they become like a puppet under the gunas. So whoever is behaving in whichever way, which we'll learn in the next chapter, whoever is behaving in whichever way, whether in a rajasic mode, tamasic mode, or in a sattva mode, is purely due to that thing. So now, therefore, I said that let us, please make a note, because we need to understand these six questions which Arjuna had asked. So he asked about what is Kshetra, what is Kshetragya, what is Jnana, what is Gayam. All this he has asked, right? So soul, living entities are known as Jivatma, and super soul is the Paramatma. So Paramatma sits as a witness to in the heart to all the living bodies. So he sits as a witness. Updashta Anumanta cha Bharta Bhakta Maheshwara Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purusaha Paraha. So whatever we're doing, we might be saying that we are doing a lot of sattvic. And to others, we might be saying we are very, very sattvic or whatever. Suppose there is some secret desire, then Krishna knows there because he sits there as a Paramatma. Then it is the soul is infinitesimally small. It is one of 10,000 size of the tip of the hair. That's the size. So therefore, it is called Anuatma, and super soul is called a Vibhuatma because it is infinite. It is all pervading. So and cognizant of one's body, as we just discussed. So soul knows about its own body. Super soul knows about all the bodies. We'll also have some kind of understanding of that. For example, if you have a patch of land in your name, then you know about that field, like or a farmer knows about his own field. Where the grass is there, where grass is not there. He knows about his own field. However, let's say the king or maybe the government knows about all the fields because they have all the land records, right? So it is similar to that. So super soul knows about all the bodies because he sits there as a witness inside the heart. So that is I think that was the second example. Then soul is secondary control of senses, and supreme soul is the supreme control of the senses. So therefore, he's called Hrishikesha because he is the supreme controller of all our senses. Not so. If you're thinking that my sense, like all my five senses, I am the controller, then I'm maybe a secondary controller, but primary controller is he, because the moment we see that there are situations where just when soul leaves, then none of the sense works. Then, of course, fallible, infallible, we discussed. A loving servitor, there's the soul is a loving servitor of the super soul, and it's eternally a loving master, the superior. Innumerable living entities. So, souls, how many? Innumerable, it is saying. The species could be 84 lakhs, but this 84 lakh species, there are various other lokas also. We are talking about only the earthly planet. So in different lokas, there will be many, many entities. In sun planet also, that there could be entities, because we say that it cannot be it cannot be burnt by fire. So in any loka, any entity, it would be there. So therefore it is called innumerable living entities. So though super soul is in the heart of every living entity and within every atom, still there is only, see, this is the last part is the most important. It is saying that the moment we just imagine this for a moment, that Paramatma sits in every heart in the four-handed form in all living entities. 84 lakhs of species, or even other species also, which we cannot see, maybe in different planets. However, this statement says that, but he is not divided. He is the only one super soul. So let us cement this idea so that we go ahead to the next. So what is jnana? What Arjuna is asking, what is knowledge? So knowledge is about three things: about the body, about the soul, and about the super soul. And also to know that who is the knower. So knower is soul knows about the body, super soul knows about all the bodies. So this is called perfect knowledge of these. This is called jnanam. In fact, therefore, Krishna is saying, Kshetra Kshetra Gyor Jnanam, Yat Jnanam, Tat Jnanam Matir Mama, he is saying. So he's in fact, disposing all the knowledge that so-called knowledge. So I think next is Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetra gayor jnanam yat jnanam matam mama. So he's saying, oh, Sign of Bharata, you should understand that I'm also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. So we can say that he has actually, disposed of all the knowledge that we call as knowledge, like science or biology, mathematics, philosophy, architecture, whatever knowledge we're talking about. He's saying only kshetra kshetra jnana. So he has made the knowledge into 2 by 2 matrix, and this is just the kshetra and kshetragya. The knowledge of kshetra and kshetragya is the knowledge, and there is no other knowledge. Very simple. So here there are three pictures. On the top we can see, the person is awake. In the middle we see he's in a dream state, and in the third he's sleeping. There's so one is called uh, Jagriti, one is called the Swapna, state, and other is the Susupti stage. So these are the three states of consciousness, which is the consciousness when you are being awake, where you are in sleep, when one is dreaming, and when is in deep sleep. What is more important is, in all the states, the Jiva and the Paramatma are awake. So we can see here in every living being, this is the Jiva, the Atma, which is one of 10,000 of the tip of the hair of the size, and Paramatma has a 400 form. He's there in every Jiva. Now, soul is not able to understand that the presence of the Paramatma because he is turning away. So there is an example that there are, we can understand in this way, uh, that in a branch there are two birds. So one bird is just sitting idle and looking at the other bird. And other bird is just eating and enjoying the fruit which is there on the branch somewhere. And it is not looking up. Now this bird is just waiting when it will stop enjoying and just turn its head and face and then see the Paramatma. So that is what the Paramatma is waiting to get out of the sense enjoyment and do the devotional service so that we understand Krishna. So now there is a fourth state also. Apart from these three states, there is a fourth state which is called a Turiya state. And what is Turiya state? When one is aware of the Lord or Paramatma always. A person in the state of Turiya is always working for the pleasure of the Lord, knowing his original position always. So our main aim is to be in the Turiya stage. And that's what we can achieve through devotional service. So what are the different stages of consciousness? Just now we discussed. So one is awake, one is in the dream state, and other is complete sleep. So what is happening here? We talked about subtle body, we talked about gross body. So consciousness rooted through gross material body, that is the Jagrati stage. Here, the red part you can see. Then consciousness routed till the subtle material realm is Swapna. So here the Swapna stage, this consciousness is limited to this only. Then of course the soul is there. Now on the left hand side is the realm in which consciousness rooted to the spiritual realm, that is Turiya stage, where it is continuously fully aware of the Paramatma, which is just with him inside the heart. So our aim is to reach Turiya stage. But how? So how is something, again Krishna will explain. So this is the field that we just talked about. If you are the owner of a field, then you know about the field. So, for example, your body is the field. That's what Krishna is saying. Your body is the field. So you know about your own field. Whereas the king might be knowing about all the bodies. So therefore, Paramatma knows about all the living entities. 84 lakhs of species, every living species, Paramatma is present. And therefore, we also, you know, also had a verse which says that the Pandita Hasamadarshinaha, just because he is able to see, there is no difference between the Brahmana, the Shudra, the dog eater, all those examples was also there previously. Now it is building upon, much in a very, very specific way. Now Krishna is, telling us. So that knowledge of the field of the activities and the knower of activities is described by the various sages in various Vedic writings. So what it is? So let us see what it is. So basically, the consciousness is in every living entity is on this, various levels. So one is called Annamaya Kosha, second is called Pranamaya Kosha, the third is called the Jnanamaya Kosha, fifth is called Vijnanamaya Kosha, and fifth is called Anandamaya Kosha. So what are these primarily? So we know this, right? We know that Annamaya Kosha is where just the idea is to lead or not eat to leave, but leave to eat kind of a scenario. So life is only about food in the stage. You can see the small babies or toddler stage. Whatever you give, they will just take it to their mouth. You give a toy, he will take it. You give a pen, he will take it. So that is the kind of stage. Some people are there. Even some people, human beings are also there. That their whole objective of life is to have just to eat and eat. So that is the conscious level at the Annamaya Kosha. And then the Pranamaya Kosha. Then a little change. So now one wants a little security. So we talk about, building a house, some CCTV, some security. So even dogs have this. So basically up to two, Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha, even animals also go up to the second level. But from third level, that is Jnanamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha, in this conscious levels, only human beings can do because the reason is very simple. Jnana means seeking. So the seeking propensity is not there in the animals. That is so. Therefore, Jnanamaya Kosha is about thoughts and perceptions. And here, Athato Brahma Jigyasa that we talk about. So I think in uh, uh, this Athato Brahma Jigyasa is what is the meaning of that? It meaning is that therefore Brahma Jigyasa. No, scripture or no book starts with therefore. In fact, some theories are given, and after that it says that therefore. However, Brahma Samhita starts with therefore, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, because it is required. And after that, once the seeking for, you know, for the knowledge is set, then we move to the next. That is, life is only about Vishesha Jnana. And what is that Jnana? I am not the body, I am the spirit soul. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intelligence, I am not the false ego, I am not all of these eight things, I am the soul. So that kind of understanding, when one achieves, we would say he is in the state of consciousness of Vijnanamaya. And Anandamaya, of course, that's a blissful stage, absolute blissful stage, because, and the devotees are always in this Anandamaya consciousness because they are continuously enjoying this blissful stage, because the you know the devotional service involves all those nine ways of devotee: hearing, chanting, remembering. So in all those stages, the immediate thing is ananda. So very easily one get ananda from that. So happiness is only there in the topmost stage, whereas the devotees get it very, very easily. So now let's go what he's saying again. Uh, Again, he's explaining. Krishna is explaining about, now he's not talking about just the five elements or three elements we talked about. Now he's talking about 24 elements. So this picture, in any case, everyone remembers, right? So what is it? It was the representation of the body, of our body and senses. What is it? Anyone? Just quickly, 2 seconds. Hare Krishna.
The five senses and the mind and ourselves. So
So
in
horses,
showcasing
right,
horses,
right. Horses are the five senses. So five. Reen is the mind. So 5 plus 1, 6.
yeah.
Then intelligence, who is, in charge of the Reen. And then the owner is the soul. However, it doesn't end here. The five great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the five sense object, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms and convictions, all these are considered in summary to be field of activities. So when we're talking about the body, which is field of activities, which is kshetra. So kshetra is equal to field of activities is equal to this 24 elements, not limited to just the subtle body and the gross body, which we talked about eight. Now he's talking about five elements. We know three elements. We know. However, it is also talking about 10 senses, five knowledge senses, five you know acting senses. So altogether there is 24. So we can see this is the list: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, five elements: knowledge acquired sense, knowledge acquiring senses, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin; working senses, voice, legs, hands, anus, and genitals; object of senses, so form, smell, sound, touch, and taste, which is done by eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. And then subtle elements, of course, this is the subtle body that we talked about: mind, intelligence, false ego. And unmanifested. What is unmanifested? This could be your question. So answer is, it is that state where the material nature is in the state of unmanifested, means all the gunas are absolutely in the equilibrium. So at this state where it has not manifested as the material nature with all the three gunas, so that is the state from which in fact all this will come out, like unmanifest state of Karana Dakshai Vishnu, where everything goes into his belly. So similar kind of example. So now Jnanam, process of acquiring knowledge. What is the process of acquiring knowledge? So 8 to 12, so let's look at what, now there's a big list that Krishna is giving. So Krishna is saying, this is the process of knowledge. Unless we have this, we cannot acquire knowledge. And knowledge of what? It is not material knowledge, it is spiritual knowledge and knowledge of the soul and super soul. this knowledge, and ultimately it leads to devotional service. There is no doubt on that. But this knowledge, for this, all these are required. Amanitvam, adhambhitvam, ahimsa, shanti, rarjavam, acharya upasanam, sauchyam, stairyam, atma vinigraha, indriyastu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara pyadi dukkha dosha, doshanu darshanam, आसक्तिर अनाविष भंगः पुत्रदार गृहादेषु नित्यं च समचित्वम मयि चानय योगेन भक्तिर अभ्यभिचारिणी विवेक देश सेवितम आरतिर्जन संसदि अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वम तत्व ज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एताद ज्ञानम इति प्रोक्तम अज्ञानम यत अतो न्याथा. So these are the things. So amanitvam is humility, adambhatvam is pridelessness, then ahimsa is non-violence. So we can look at all that. So we can just look at on the right hand side: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity. See, these are telling it very easy, but just look at which one you see is the most predominant now. We can contemplate. Today, what you see is the most predominant in the society. And just the opposite of this. I mean, the opposite of humility, opposite of pridelessness, non-violence is a violence, non-tolerance is a tolerance. So simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation. That is the um, sixth opulence of Krishna. That is non-attachment. And then, of course, most important is the perception of evil of birth, that old age and disease, which is the misery of this earthly planet, which is Janma, Mritu, Jara, and Vyadhi, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness. Even-mindedness is the same as the equipoisedness, which is Padmapatra Vivambasa, amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge. So all these are knowledge as per Krishna. And beside this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So he has published this. So now we cannot say that this list is not published and we don't know. So Krishna has published this list, that either we have this jnana or we don't have this jnana. If we don't have this jnana, then we remain as agyani, fool, mudha, all that will happen. So these are, just English, I would say, the more, uh, to make it more meaningful, that what is humility, all of us now know. So I am not reading out non-violence, tolerance. But for example, uh, let's say pridelessness, what it is. So understanding you are not the body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same. So this is to be understood. So pridelessness, it looks like we understand it, but understanding has to be this way, that we are not the body, and thus honor or dishonor will not matter. Similarly, let's say non-violence. Unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence only. And tolerance, be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. So this is also a practice which is required. Simplicity, telling it very simple. But what is that? That is primarily straightforward, that you can disclose the truth even to an enemy. So it is not Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat, Satyam Apriyam Ma Bruyat, not like that. Simplicity means straightforward with the truth. Accepting a spiritual master is the most important. This is essential, it is saying. This is essential, not important. It is a must. Then cleanliness, of course, is required. Steadfastness, self-control, reject anything unfavorable, and control the senses, not to cater to unnecessary demands. That is renunciation from sense objects. We learned that, like tortoise, how it draws its senses inside of it. So there are a lot of demands from our senses, all these five senses. If you cater to the demand, then this point of I'm not the body, I'm not, the mind will not actually occur to us. And if it doesn't occur to us, then I am the servitor of Krishna or I am the servant of Krishna will also not come. Then perceptions of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Pyadhi, these are Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. So regularly hear how it will happen. If you regularly hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all scriptures, regularly hear about this, then only this idea will cement fully. So all this, even-mindedness, unalloyed devotion. So this is the full list which is required, which is called jnana. And what is now object of knowledge? If this is the knowledge, then what is object of knowledge? So I shall now explain the knowledge, knowing which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. In any case, he is the Sarva Karana Karanam, but he is talking about the knowledge after which you will taste the eternal Brahman, the spirit of beginningless and subordinate to me. So there is a taste that he's talking about. Let's look at what it is. So what is the object of knowledge? So there are two. One object of knowledge is the soul. Other object of the knowledge is super soul. And what is the benefit of knowing this? Benefit of knowing this is, and therefore that is called knowable. So the words are little, a little, I would say, looks like complex, but it is not. We can make it simple. So primarily one is, Gayam is what to be known or knowable, that is Gayam. And so here the super soul and soul are to be known. And by knowing that, one can release the nectar of life. Because unless we know this and so because this is the permanent thing, soul and super soul are the permanent, eternal, beginningless entities. Whereas we are taking care of the body, which is so temporary. So therefore, Krishna is continuously saying that be knowledgeable. Knowledgeable means to be knowledgeable about the soul. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the soul, I am the soul. So this understanding has to cement completely, and then only the relishing will happen. So super soul. सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत्सर्वतो अक्षि शिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुति मोल्लोके सर्वमाप्ततिष्ठति सर्वम आपृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वतः पाणि पादम पाणि is hand, padam is foot, tat sarva akshi is eye, shiro that is the head, sarvatah shrutim aloke sarvam avrita tishtati. So everywhere, his hands, legs, his eyes, heads, faces, he has ears everywhere. In this way the super soul exists, pervading everything. This is how we have to understand the super soul. Everywhere he is. Sarvendriya गुणभासं सर्वेन्द्रिय विवर्जितम् आसक्तं सर्व वृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without the senses. Without the senses. As well, he is the source of all senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. So all modes of material nature, so three modes, he is the master. He is a Hrishikesha, so he is the master of the senses. So Krishna has the transcendental senses incomparable to our limited material senses. He pervades everywhere. In fact, Krishna, just a beautiful pastime to share with you is that when Narada visited Dwaraka, he wanted to just see Krishna, and he saw Krishna is simultaneously present in 16,108 palaces with all his queens. So his presence is unlimited, and therefore he is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is what it is saying here. And Brahma Samhita also corroborates this. And Brahma Samhita says, अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पन्ति कल्याणन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्द चिन्मय सत् उज्ज्वल विग्रहस्य Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is the full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses the himself, the full-fledged functions of all organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. Both spiritual and mundane. So this is a description which is given in Brahma Samhita. And we just talked about the how Krishna was present, in 16,108 uh, places together. Uh, this is how Govinda is. In fact, Krishna is, what is the meaning of Krishna? The meaning of Krishna. Anyone? What is the meaning of Krishna? Hare Krishna. Because it is going perhaps a little heavy, so let's get engaged. What is the meaning of Krishna? Hare Krishna. Anyone? Prasid Bhushan Prabhuji, what is the meaning of Krishna? Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Krishna means dark something. Na? Krishna Paksh means the darker.
Yes, yeah, that is also one of the meaning. But Krishna, for which Krishna is Krishna, that meaning is different. That meaning is Krishna is dark also. So therefore, he has got all those names, beautiful names. Kalia is told, and so many names he has. But Krishna is primarily who is all attractive. Akarshati iti Krishna. Huh? He is all attractive. Therefore, his opulences, out of six. So why you are getting so much attract? Why soul is attracted towards Krishna is because he's all attractive. Nobody can see. You can see how beautifully in Brahma Samhita, if you go through this beautiful verses, it only talks about how beautiful appearance of Krishna, most attractive. He's compared with Kandarpa Koti Kamaniyo Shobham. So it is like 1 crore of cupids. So that is Krishna. So therefore he's attractive. He's not attractive just for the sake of attractiveness. He's like that. So the supreme truth exists both internally and externally in the moving and non-moving. He's beyond the power of the material senses to see, to know. Although far, far away, he's also near to all. So see, there I think it looks like opposite. One side it is saying he's very near. We can see here what it is written here. He is beyond the power of the material senses to see, to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. So why this? So it is saying Bhahirantasya Bhutanam Acharam Charam Evacha Sukmam Tvatta Vigyayam Durastham Chantike Chatat. So he is nearer as well as far because he is nearer because sitting in our heart. Sarvasa Chayamurti Sannibhishto. However, we are not turning our head towards him. The Jivatma is not turning, he's engaged in sense gratification, not turning his head towards him. So therefore he's far. So so 13.17 Abhivaktam cha bhuteshu vivaktim eva cha sthitam bhuta bhartu cha tagyeyam drasishnu prava vishnu cha. Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all. We can see all the species here. Here, human, then the quadrupeds, then the birds, then in the insects, even the aquatics, everyone is here. There are 84 lakhs of species. So in everyone, we can see a spark, right? You can see a spark here. This spark is nothing but the Paramatma in the 400 form is there in everybody, every living being. But he's not divided. He is the maintainer. So We say na, he is the controller, he is the maintainer. What was that peace formula verse where it is also saying that he is the controller? Anybody remembers? Bhuktaram Yajnatapasam. Hare Krishna. Bhuktaram Yajnatapasam. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
Suridam Sarvabhutana Jnati
Jnatva Mam Shantir Mrichyati. So there also it is said that he is the maintainer, he is the controller. So it is to be understood. So this why this point is number of times coming is that the moment we talk about many entities, 84 lakhs, immediately our logical mind says that it must be divided. So there must be super soul. There is super soul 1, there is super soul 2, there is super soul 3. Things like that. The logical mind will think. So therefore, this is refuted by Krishna time and again, saying that no, it looks like it is divided, but it is not. Like the sunlight. So sunlight, we can see, it is in the bulb, it is in the tube light, it is anywhere we can see the light, so to say, just light I'm saying. But doesn't mean that light as a source is changing, or the quality of light is changing. So he is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledgeable. Sorry, he is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. So he is knowledge as well as he is the object of knowledge. So there is no other knowledge. Krishna is saying, Kshetro Gyor Jnanam Yat Jnanam Tat Jnanam Matam Mama. That's what he's saying. So he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. We just understood this, right? So let's proceed. So what is the attributes of super soul? So super soul is source of light in all luminous objects. Wherever is object, then he is the light of, he already said he's he's the brightness of the sun, he's the brightness of the moon. So all that also he told in the Vibhuti Yoga also. Uh, just one moment. Yes. Yeah. So then super soul is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. What is unmanifested? What is unmanifested? We'll talk about that. Now we'll go next. He's knowledge, object of knowledge, and goal of knowledge. So all pervading inside and outside of living entities, origin of senses, but has no senses, has spiritual senses, supreme person, like transcendental. Krishna's body is transcendental. He's not made up of all these 5 elements. His body is eternal. Ishwara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Swarupa. So that what he is, and he's reside in everybody's heart, as in the 400 form. And his Rupa, so he is a person. In the last verse, last chapter, we said that Arjuna, worship to my personal form. 13.19. Thus, the field of activities, that is body, knowledge, that is jnana, and the knowable, that is gayam, have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can. Now he's giving a clause here. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attend to my nature. He has described this, what it is. However, he's saying that describing is just not sufficient. Knowledge for just the theory is not sufficient. The understanding and experiencing will come only through devotional service, because he's saying here clearly that only my devotees can understand it. So these two birds, I have already discussed this. One bird looking at the other. The first bird is the Paramatma, who is looking at the next bird. The next bird is the soul, who is engrossed in enjoyment, and he's waiting. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam gyayam choktam samasatah madbhakta etadvigyaya madbha vayu padyate. Now, qualification to understand kshetra, kshetra kya jnana kya. So what is the qualification? So main qualification is Mat Bhakta, because the moment we are saying what is Kshetra, that is the body and all the bodies, Kshetragya, the soul as well as the super soul, Jnana is the knowledge, knowledge and the process of acquiring the knowledge, and giving the object of knowledge is no one but the super soul and no one but Krishna. If that is so, then who understand the Gyayam or the object of knowledge better than a devotee? No one. So therefore, to understand what is Kshetra, what is Kshetragya, what is Jnana, and what is Gyayam, what is the object of knowledge, what is the field of activities, what is to be known, the best way is the devotional service. So this is the main thing that we have to contemplate continuously is I am the body and it is so frustrating, but I am soul, servant of all powerful Lord, and it's really liberating. This is the thought. And rather than trying to be the controller, let's give our controls to Krishna. That will give real happiness. Summary of now last. Krishna answers question 1 and 2, that is Prakriti Purusha and their union. So what is saying? Qualities of Jiva, that is soul, and qualities of the material nature. So there are some, always we think that material nature is the same as what we learned in the science book. That is the nature which gives, the seasons are there, some are this and that, clouds, some oxygen layer and things like that, whatever. It's not about that. So number one criteria of material nature is that it is also eternal as the jiva. It is not temporary. It's a very, very important understanding. It is also beginningless. And like the soul, that is also beginningless. It is there permanently. However, it comes to an unmanifest stage when there is a devastation and all that happens. It comes to also an unmanifested, but it stays. It is eternal. Jiva, ignorant of own reality, material nature provides residential quarters. What is a residence quarter? The bodies. The bodies are the residence for the souls. Yes. And Jiva misidentifies with the body. He thinks that this is, I am the body, he thinks. And what about material nature? It controls Jiva through three modes because it is comprises of three modes. So we'll learn that more. So let's say Sattva Guna. So in the Sattva Guna, one will acquire knowledge, give knowledge. That is a propensity. So they will be in the piousness, purity of thoughts. All that will happen. Rajasika is continuously endeavoring for sense pleasure unlimitedly is the Rajasic. So most of the, in the Kali Yuga, find the more of Rajasic people. And Tamasic, where it is, all kinds of laziness, sleep, delusion, all this part of the, Tamasic nature. So even a same person also, sometimes he is more of predominantly, maybe in the evening time, he may be more Tamasic. Many things can happen. That also will learn. And then temporary manifestation keeps transforming. Okay, libation is again and again and again and again and again. The matter defeats me. Am I investing my love at the wrong place? Am I investing my love to my body? I'm trying to enjoy my body, which is temporary. That question, that is the Adhata Brahma Jigyasa. This is the Gyan and transcendental enjoyer. Qualities of super soul is that he is a transcendental enjoyer, permanent enjoyer. He is the proprietor. He is the witness. He witnessed each and every activity, not only activity. He witnesses each and every thought, what is going on in our heart, in our mind, in our brain. And he is also the sanctioner. So if I am desiring something, he sanctions that. So so the parampara says we need to have the Brahma Jigyasa. We go to the platform of knowledge, then we go to the platform, the ultimate platform of bhakti. Our parampara says this, but somehow we get identified with the nature, the prakriti, and also get bound by nature. And after that, we desire many things. We desire we hate somebody, we want some destruction of somebody, whatever. We want something which is totally against us. That also we want. But if that kind of desire is there, then Krishna is a good father. He sanctions that also. So therefore, we this thing comes many times, that why so much of so much in what is that called? So much of quarrel, so much of hatred, so much of fight, so much of wars. Why this is going on? This is because people are desiring something or other, and he's sanctioning also. So please note, Krishna is watching. He is aware of our most private thoughts and intentions. We cannot hide anything from him. Very important. Prakriti Purusham Chaiva Vidvanadi Ubhavapi Vikaranscha Gunangschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavam. It's not only the body that keeps changing. Our conscious level is also changing in different bodies. So I think we've seen this. Like, I don't know, I was a fish in the last birth or not. I could be a monkey, a tiger, an elephant, whatever it may be. But based on that, even my consciousness was also changing. Like we talked about the Annamaya Koso, Pranamaya Koso. The most of the animals are in that state. So if human is still at those stage, then therefore we say that if anyone is in that state, is supposed to be in the animalistic stage, because he is just in the Annamaya Kosha or in the Pranamaya Kosha. That is the animalistic stage. So we have to go to the Vijnanamaya Kosha and the final one, that is Anandamaya Kosha. So material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. It is product of material nature. Why? Because whatever they're doing, the karmas they're doing is coming out from the desire. Not only desire, also they're identifying with the nature, and therefore they're acquiring that kind of a guna. And because of that guna, they're doing that karma. So karma is coming from the guna. This is also the most important aspect. And because of the guna, karma is coming. Because of the karma, the effect is coming. So therefore, the birth, rebirth, and all that is going on. So karya karana krutvetve hetu prakriti ruchyate purusha sukha dukkhana bhaktuveva hetu ruchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyment in this world. So it is very clear. We are the cause. The living entities are the cause of our suffering and enjoyments, because of we identified the nature and then with the gunas. But we cannot blame the material nature, because it is responsible for its own cause and effect. Normally, the cause and effect with what we read in science, some cause and effect which is happening there. But the cause and effect on suffering and enjoyment which is happening to the soul, that is due to the uh, purely due to the soul itself, for identifying with the nature. So Purusha Prakutisto hi bhungte Prakriti Jangunan Karanam Guna Sangoshya Sadasadyo Nijan Masu. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. That's what we're telling about. This is due to the association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil amongst various species. So we don't want to be again a frog or a bird and all that. And all that is happening because we're associating that kind of a nature. If we want to be, we saw that, right? If somebody is, uh, you know, indiscriminately only eating, then of course, the next body could be a pig, because pig doesn't know, cannot discriminate between rasgulla and a stool. So what is important then? Most important is be careful with whom you associate. Because of association, we are constantly taking different bodies. The main reason is our association with the gunas and with the associates. If you associate with devotees, with associate with the good people, we always encourage our children to associate with good, good friends who think uh, always in the good mood, in the sattvic thing, so that the purification takes place. Otherwise, you know, there can be endless misery, and if we want to have endless misery, then it's a different case. Otherwise, Krishna is saying this is the most simplest way. Come to devotional service and end this misery. As simple as that. So this is the material nature. So yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer. Upadashta anumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. So that's what I think we have already talked about this. He's the Upadrashta, so he's a witness, he's the Anumanta, he's the sanctioner, he's the Bhokta, he's the enjoyer, and he's also the Maheshwara, he's the controller and the proprietor of everything. That is to be understood. He is the Purusha. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, what is that? That material nature has three gunas. It is also eternal. Then soul identifies with the nature, with the three gunas. Once who understand this philosophy, the living entity and the interaction of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. So we see here this picture where Sukamani, at the age of 18 years old, he's giving the entire Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, and everyone is listening so with so much of rapt attention, because this is about Krishna. This is not about the body. This is about Kshetragya, not about Kshetra. ये एवं व्यक्ति पुरुषं प्रकृतिं च गुणैः सह सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि न स भूयोऽभिजायते ध्यानेनात्मनि पश्यन्ति केचिदात्मनमात्मना अन्ये सांख्येन योगेन कर्मयोगेन चापरे. Some perceive the super soul within themselves through meditation. Yes, there are Ashtanga yogis who comes to the stage of samadhi and they see. Others through the cultivation of knowledge. Those are jnana yogis, that also we have seen. And still others through working without fruitive. So this is niskama karma. So through that also one ultimately goes to the stage of bhakti. So this is the, from dhyana to Sankhya yoga to karma yoga. So Lord explains two class of, conditioned soul. One is faithful in spiritual life and others are the atheists. Atheists, agnostics, all this in any case, you know, they comes under the category of the Maya Aparuta Jnanam. So they will never reach Krishna. And devotees of the Lord are best situated in the spiritual understanding because they know that beyond the material nature, that is the Prakriti, this jnana that we are talking about, are spiritual, uh, beyond the material nature, are spiritual world and the supreme personality of Godhead who expands as Paramatma. This is understanding. Krishna was saying in the last verse that this particular perception, this particular knowledge is available only to the devotees. So, अन्ये त्वेवमजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चाति रन्त्वेव मृत्युं श्रुति parayanah. Hearing is the easiest way of gaining Krishna consciousness. Experiential learning is for animals and for people with lower intelligence. Just listening to the learned, listening to the discourses on scriptures is needed. All that needs to be known is here. So we have many examples where just by hearing, people, there are persons who got liberated. Any example, anyone? At least example of one or two who got liberated just by hearing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can we unmute? Just by hearing. Yes, Achal Mataji. Just by hearing, or Giriwala Mataji. Can we have one example? Is the screen is still visible? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, is the screen visible? Hello, am I audible?
Parikshit Maharaj?
Yes, Parikshit Maharaj. Yes, yes. Very good example. Then next, Prahlad Maharaj also learned when he was in So there are many examples. And this is the example where uh, the son, Kapila Muni, is giving the transcendental knowledge to his mother, Devahuti. So hearing is the easiest way, he's saying. So Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Archanam Bandhanam Pada Sevanam Dasyam Saksham Atmanivedanam. Sravanam first. So God has given 2 years, therefore Sravanam. So Gyan, now Jnana Chakshu, how to acquire Jnana by studying the chapter. So yes. So how to acquire Jnana Chakshu? By gaining knowledge about super soul is equally disposed, body is different from self, all material activities are performed by body, control over the mind and senses. So this is important, control over mind and senses. And that is, see, how will we get control over mind and senses? Just let us discuss this. Let's say we have eyes or ears. These are our senses, right? Eyes, ears, nose, smell, tongue. So how will get control? How we do it? In the Yukta Vairagya, how we do it? In the devotional service, eyes we control by seeing more attractive. And we just said Krishna is the most attractive, most attractive. So seeing Krishna's beautiful Rupa, the Samashundara Rupa, it itself satisfies the eyes. So eye now doesn't require anything else. So control is not the right word. It is rather replaced by a higher taste. However, the other yogi, that is Ashtanga yogi, tries to control. So our control is through replacing, then hearing, not hearing, the mundane music, but hearing about the Lord, his activities, his pastimes, Bhagavatam. Then also it gets purified. Smelling the beautiful flowers which we have offered to the Lord, tasting the prasadam which is offered to Lord as a bhoga, touching, touching. So all that, by that only the control over mind and senses will happen. So, O chief of Bharatas, Yava Sanjayate Kinchit Sattvam Sthavara Jangamam Kshetra Kshetragya Samyogat Tat Vidhi Bharatarsava. O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. So you see, as I was telling, that Krishna has made the entire, you know, creation, cosmos, everything so simple. He has just divided this into two, just two by two matrix. So everything that is there, either that is field of activity or it is what? Either it is field of activity or it is knower of the field. So here we can see this scientist is doing some experiment. So he is the no. So he's having the Paramatma inside as well as the soul inside. So two entities are there. So both are the knower, and whatever he is doing with the instrument or whatever, that is what is the field of activity. So entire creation is just the two. So spiritually realized person can distinguish between spirit and matter in all circumstances, whether non-moving, moving, whatever you see in existence, only combination of the two things, just two, Kshetra and Kshetragya, Kshetra and Kshetragya, Kshetra and Kshetragya. I'm repeating 3 times because that is how it is to be. Samam sarvesu bhutesu tishtantam parameshwaram vinasastu avinasyastam ya pasyati sapasyati samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinasyatvaiva vinasyantam ya pasyati sapasyati. So this is a beautiful verse, in fact. He's using 2 times the word called pasyati. Yah pasyati sa pasyati. Only that person sees who sees. Who sees? One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed actually sees. So Krishna here, in fact, just gives a stamp on us as what? Hare Krishna. If we are not able to see, if we are not able to see that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, and also we are not able to see that super soul resides in everybody's heart, every living heart. If we are not able to see that, then we are not seeing anything. So from Krishna's perspective, we are all blind. We become able-eyed only when we see is supposed to be seen. So ya pasyati sa pasyati. So this is what Krishna is. So it is, he is in, we can see the spark everywhere as he resides as the Paramatma in everybody's heart. And therefore, Pandita Samadarshan Darshinaha. And Samang Pashyati Sarvatra Samavasthitam Ishwaram Na Hinasyatma Atmanang Tato Yati Param Gatim. One who sees the super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus, he approaches the transcendental destination. And what is the transcendental destination? Krishna. And what is Krishna's abode? Golaka. So, only by understanding this, we can approach Krishna very quickly and very fast. So, actual seer, which what? This is what we have already, understood. Actual seer is when the mind turns to the super soul, one becomes advanced. Then one approaches the transcendental destination. So we can see here in the picture, this is a beautiful depiction. So this person is, contemplating. So Kshetra and Kshatragya, he is able to understand that even in whatever it is seen, let's say there is a car and there is whatever some women are standing there, there are some money or whatever is there. So he's contemplating on that as the objects, whereas the object of knowledge is Krishna. He is able to see that. So why are we responsible? Because we are desiring, that we have already discussed. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. So we can see, we talked about the body where the chariot, the soul is the driver. So if, and there is super soul also as a witness. If you understand that, then we'll not desire wrong things and will not be responsible because we know that Krishna is watching. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. So Brahman conception is only that. It is not a big, some very, very, complex subject. It is very simple. It is simply Samadarshina. He's seeing Paramatma everywhere. So vision of actual seer. Vision of actual seer is all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature. The self does nothing. So the soul does nothing. Everything is done through material nature. When soul identifies with the material nature. When does he attain Brahman conception? When so what happens? This has to happen. He has to cease to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere. Thus, absence of any material differentiation because of different bodies. So when you see different bodies, like elephant, like goat, like Shudra, like Brahmin, like dog eater, and so many examples are given. When we see that these are not different, only this indifference, so to say, that purifies the consciousness. And how to develop that? That development is slowly happen because Krishna will give the intelligence. He says, na, in the Chatushloki, he give the necessary intelligence, and he will give the necessary intelligence to differentiate, not to differentiate, and sees Paramatma as Paramatma. So anaditva nirgunatvat paramatmyam avyayah sarirasthopi kuntaya na karoti na lipyate. Those with the vision of eternity can see that imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature, despite contact with the material body. O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. So this we have known that how souls, how it changes body. Dehinosmin jatha dehe komaram yuvanundara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra nomyoti. So basically, soul changes the bodies, and that body is coming due to the karma, and karma is coming due to the guna, and guna is coming from the prakriti, and because of the identification of our soul with the prakriti. So a living entity appears to be born because the birth of the material body, but actually the living entity is eternal. He is not born because Krishna always says that soul is unborn. Aja. What is that? Which is that verse? Ajo shashvatam puranam animane sarire. What was the starting? Najayate mriyate va kadachit nanyang bhuta bhavita va na bhuyah ajo nityam shashvatam purana na hanyate hanyamane sarire. It is coming, the same concept is coming again and again, but through the concept of kshetra and kshetragya. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. यथा सर्वगत सूक्ष्मादाकाशं नो नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मा नोपलिप्यते. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything. We can see the sky, no? It's such a subtle, it doesn't mix with anything. And although it is all pervading, we see sky everywhere. I mean, wherever we see, I mean, whether India or outside, anywhere, you will see the same sky. The skies looks mostly same. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in the body. So mixing with the material nature will happen only when the vision is illusioned. And when vision will not be illusion, when the vision is with the Brahman. And when it will happen? Only when we turn towards the Paramatma. And when we'll turn? When we purify ourselves. And when we'll purify ourselves? When we do the devotional service continuously. And also devotional service, various options yesterday Krishna had given. If you can be Ananya Bhakta, fine. Not possible, then do the sadhana bhakti. Not possible, then do some work for Krishna. Not possible, then acquire some knowledge. So all that has to happen. So the air enters into water and the stool and whatever else is there, still it doesn't mix with anything. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in varieties of bodies, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. Therefore, it is impossible to see with the material eyes how the living entity is in contact with the body and how he's out of it after the destruction of the body. No one in science can ascertain this. So this Dehinosmin Jatha Komaramino is only the devotees and the seers can see. Yah pasati sa pasati. Only he can see, not the science cannot see it. Yatha prakasha यथा प्रकाशयत्येक कृत्स्नं लोकम् इमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत. O son of Bharata. Why he is called son of Bharata? Because he is born in the dynasty of Bharata. As the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. This also we learned before as well, isn't it? That once the knowledge is acquired, then all our 9 gates gets illuminated. And this, so the example is that as the sun alone illuminates all the universe, so does the living entity. The soul also illuminates within the body and the entire body by consciousness. So khetro gayore ba manantaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye buddhir yanti te param. So kshetra gyore ba kshetra gyor eva antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param. So one who knowingly sees the difference between the knowingly sees. So there has to be effort. One who knowingly sees the difference between the body and the what is the effort? effort is either Ananya Bhakti or it can be Sadhana Bhakti, whatever it is. So therefore the effort comes. So one who knowingly sees the difference between the body and the owner of the body and can understand the process of liberation from the bondage also attains the supreme goal. And that is the abode of Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this is the summary of the chapter. Arjuna 6 questions, Khetra Khetra Jnana Gayam, etc. So Etat Veditum Ichhami, that's what he asked. Then Krishna describes. He describes what is Khetra Gya, what is Jnana, what is Gayam. All that is from 3 to 7. Then process of acquiring knowledge. So the list of qualities, the big list has been already published by Krishna. We must know it. We shouldn't say that the list is not with us. Then Gayam, object of knowledge, is the Krishna, and Prakriti Purusha and union, Kartaram Guna Sangosya, and vision of knowledge. It is the last one where it says Khetra Khetra Jnanam Eva Antaram Jnana Chakshusha. So this is Jnana Chakshu, where the difference between the field of knowledge, that is the body, and the kshetra and the knower of the field of activities, this difference one knows that Khetro Jnana Tat Jnanam Matam Mama. Hare Krishna. This is the end of the chapter. So try and recollect the 6 sections of the chapter 13, the beginning of the Jnana Yoga. So chapter 13 sections are these, which we already discussed. So this is the summary of the overview. That also we have already discussed. So in fact, now we'll move to chapter 13. So how it progresses. So chapter 13 explained how the living entity, Purusha, is entangled in the material nature due to his desire for enjoyment. And where from the desire for enjoyment is coming? This is coming from the 3 modes of material nature. So how these 3 modes will work, how they bind the jiva or the soul, and how they can be destroyed by Krishna Bhakti, all this will run in the chapter 14. So welcome to chapter 14. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavaneva vaishnaveva namo namo. We have exceeded the time. Please pardon me for that. Hare Krishna. Any questions? I stop sharing and also stop recording. If at all it's there, I don't